How's everybody doing? And welcome to another Sunday talk. Last week I talked about fear and how, in order for you to become successful, you have to actually conquer some of those fears. And every successful people at one point actually was afraid of something. And the only reason why this person has become successful is because they have conquered some of the fears. So if you don't believe me, take a look at anybody that is successful on something that you like and see how, if you look at their biography, you look at their life, they have become afraid of something at one point. So human beings is nature, is human nature to be afraid of have fear for something. For example, me myself, I've always been afraid to be on camera and listen to myself, and I'm trying to, conquer that fear and try to be proactive about it. That's one reason why I do these videos once a week, in order that these videos can help somebody else also conquer some other fears. So successful people, they always conquer the fears and become successful. That's the key to actually become successful. Because if you're afraid, you will never get out of your situation. But if you use that fear in a positive way, you'll become successful. For example, you're afraid of your kids. If you have kids, have nothing to eat the next day, you'll be afraid that they will have nothing to eat the next day. You will be responsible, will do anything possible to actually getting something to eat. If you're afraid of failure, you will also will try to get yourself better at whatever it is that you do in order for you not to fail. Human beings are the only species on earth, I think, that are capable of becoming as much as they can. I'm going to give you an example. I'm an arborist by trade, and trees will grow as much as they can and whatever situation they put in. If you install a tree or plant a tree in the forest, they will grow as big as possible. But if you plant a tree in the city on a small planter of 4x4, it can only grow so much because there's no room for him to grow. Human beings, in the other way, we as a person have the capabilities of growing as much as we can and become successful in anything that we do. We have to expand our knowledge and expand our situations every way possible. We're not a tree. We have our own choices to grow. We have our own capabilities of doing so. A tree, you put in a 4x4 planter, it will only grow as much as it can. But a human being doesn't have those restrictions. A human being can do as much as a person can do. Well, for example, the reason why we can do this, or the reason why a tree can only grow so much, is because they don't have the capabilities or choices. A tree cannot move itself. If the tree is growing in a 4x4 planter, it says, well, this planter got too small for me to grow. I'm going to move myself over to this bigger planter to actually keep growing bigger. No, the tree cannot do that. But as a human being, if you are in a situation where you got stuck and you cannot grow more, you can move yourself out. You can have choices to get out of that situation. Could be work, could be marriage, could be anything. Anything is possible for a human being to do, as long as the human being or the person is not afraid to do so. Because if you're in a bad situation, but you are afraid to let go of that situation, you will definitely be stuck in there. So you need to let go, or maybe conquer the fear to move over to what the future is telling you to do. A tree will not be able to move itself. It needs somebody else. They do this in nurseries all the time. They start with a little seed, put it in a 1 gallon bucket, they move it out to a 5 gallon bucket, they move it to a 15 gallon bucket. A person is moving this tree in order for this tree to keep growing until, we have a nursery here in our yard that we have moved trees from being 24-inch box trees to about 60-inch box trees, to then put them in parks where they keep growing and growing until as much as they can. Okay? But a human being, has the capabilities of doing that themselves. So don't be a tree. Don't be a plant. You have the capabilities of becoming as much as you can. So how do we do that? Well, by learning, by reading, by increasing your knowledge in every way possible, by changing little things every day that can become something bigger in the future. You will not be able to get all the knowledge in one sitting and said, I'm going to read a book today and tomorrow I'm going to be successful. That never happens. I have a bunch of friends and a bunch of mentors that have become successful, and every one of them at one point were afraid of something. And because of that fear and being afraid of that, that's one of the reasons why they became successful. And whoever tells you otherwise, whoever tells you I'm never afraid of something, that's BS. Everybody's afraid of something at one point, and that's the reason why they become successful. I conquered a bunch of my fears that I had in the past. And one of those fears was not be able to be a provider for my family. And that's the reason why I work so hard. That's the reason why I've been working hard my whole life. But there's also a lot of friends and people that started in the workforce the same time I did. And they're still in the same spot, which is nothing wrong with it. Everything is fine as long as you are comfortable where you are. But if you are uncomfortable in any situation, you should move on. If you're uncomfortable in a marriage, move on. If you're uncomfortable in your job, move on. Do not complain, because people hate people that complain. Me being a manager for the company I work for, I don't like when people complain. I don't like when people blame the company for their situation. It's not. You cannot blame anybody for your situation. You absolutely cannot blame anybody for where you are in life. It's only your decision of where you are in life. If you want to change that, then move on. Do something about it. Do not blame anybody but yourself or where you're at. If you're not willing to accept that, then something's wrong. And you need to look more deeper into it. But you can never, ever, ever blame anybody for the situation that you're in. Whatever it is, whatever the situation that you're in, you cannot blame anybody but yourself. So people don't like complainers. People don't like people that blame. People don't like that. And I think that's one of the things that we're going through right now in this country, is that we are blaming everybody. The people that are out there working, are blaming the people that are staying at home. The people that are staying at home are blaming the people that are working. They're blaming the government, blaming the virus, blaming everything. We don't like blamers. I don't like people that complain. I don't like people that blame each other. And if we can all take responsibility for what we do, I think this situation would have been a lot better. Because I posted something that a friend of mine posted on Facebook the other day, and I shared that, and it said that we're not in the same boat. We are in the same storm, but not in the same boat. We all are in each own little boat, and every family has their own boat. And what do we do while we're inside this boat? Try to weather this storm and try to go through this storm. And everybody's going to do something different about it. The things that you do might sink your boat, or the things that I do might make my boat successful. I had done a couple of things right now that we have a lot of time in our hands, My wife is studying nutrition, and she's almost done with it. My son is creating his music and is doing really good with it. My little daughter is learning how to cook. Starting with salads and things like that. So we all do in our family. We're doing something about this situation. What are you doing about the situation? What are you doing to become better? What are you doing to actually get out better out of this quarantine than anybody else? Whatever you do right now in these days that you are stuck at home, or if you are working, if you're an essential worker and you are working, what are you doing to actually learn from this situation and become better? Are you spending 2-3 hours sitting in front of Netflix and now you know the best series on Netflix? Or are you picking up a book or picking up a new trade of things that you want to become successful about? What are you doing about it? And whatever you're doing, that's what's gonna dictate how you're gonna come out of this quarantine. For example, I just learned how to build a website. I didn't know anything about how to build a website, but I did. I built my own website, and you guys can go take a look at it if you want to judge me for it. It's called thegiftofperspective.com. One word, thegiftofperspective.com. Go take a look at the website that I built. I never knew how to build a website, never know how to do it. But nowadays, everything is so easy to learn. I'm learning how to speak in public. I'm learning how to do videos. I'm trying to become better, using this quarantine time to become somebody better than I was when we started this situation, when this virus situation started. So what are you doing? Get up and do something. Go pursue a dream. Go learn a new skill. Go do something about it. Don't just stay comfortable at home because the government is sending you a really good money and a really good check and say, well, I'll get my job when I get out of this and I'm just going to be here drinking a beer and watching Netflix. Don't do that, because that will only harm you in the long way. Learn something productive, learn something new, something that will make you a better person for the future, not only for you, but for society, and it will help you in the long run. I have done that before. I have done it in the past. I always try to learn something new, and today is not an exception. Today I'm doing something to become better of the things that I do. I hope that this videos and this Sunday talks that I have with you guys are helping at least somebody, at least 1 or 2 people. That's all I looking for. I want one day that person that I'm help, that person will say, thanks to the video that Edgar shared with us, I was able to do this new thing in my life, and I was able to conquer a fear in my life. So if you want to become successful, conquer your fears, try to move forward and learn something new, a new skill. Start a new business. I don't care. Do something. And if you need help with any of that, send me a message. I can direct you in the right way. I can tell you the things I have done. And send me a message. You can go to my website and or my YouTube channel. Send me a message. My website is thegiftofperspective.com, and look at it. Okay. And if not, go to my YouTube channel, like my video, share my video, send me a message, like the video, like my daughter Bella said, and turn on the notifications. I will love to see you here next Sunday and for the next Sunday talk. All right. Have a nice weekend, and God bless you. All right. Bye-bye.